Hi, I'm Keely from Retirement Dreams to Reality, and today I'm going to talk about the fact that I've finally done it. I've quit. So, anybody who's watched any of our videos will know that I have talked for a long time about retiring in December, and that's still the plan. However, something major happened with my work in the last couple of weeks that meant that my retirement email, my resignation email, has gone in sooner than originally planned. We've always said as a couple, what would it take for us to bring things forward, for our plans to change and us to retire early? Now, obviously, something serious like an illness, like if one of us got cancer or some sort of heart disease, just something, a life-limiting illness, that would mean straight away we would finish just like that. Possibly if one of our loved ones got some sort of illness that meant we wanted to be with them more than we could be working, that might be something else that made us retire earlier. But another one is obviously changes to our employment. If we were made redundant or if something like that happened, then we probably wouldn't go back to work. We'd make the finances that we've got work. And something's changed in my employment in the last couple of weeks. And that is that my day-to-day job could change considerably. So I'm a one-to-one tutor. I'm a one-to-one sessional worker and have been for the past 7 years since my brain injury. And I found out a couple of weeks ago that the powers that be that fund one-to-one tuition have decided that's not what they want to do anymore. For various reasons, many different reasons, some good reasons, some financial reasons, our local authority have decided that they are not, as a rule, funding one-to-one tuition, and they want to fund group work instead, small group work for our young people. Now that basically means that I would go from tutoring one-to-one to tutoring small groups of students, to tutoring 5 or 6 students rather than one-to-one. Now I've done that before. I used to work in a pupil referral unit. I enjoyed it before. But as I am winding down to retirement, I do not want to step up my work. I just don't. And working one-to-one requires different skills to working in a small group, working with a small group of 5 or 6. And it requires skills that I don't think I've particularly used in the past 7 years. And it absolutely requires skills that I don't want to start using again. So after much thought, I sent the email. And the email basically said that I will be retiring at Christmas, and between September and Christmas, I will be winding down. If any of my students leave one-to-one provision and go into small group teaching, then I do not want to follow them. So basically, in the next 4 months up to my retirement, my hours will slowly and gradually reduce. I will lose students along the way. Now, even though I'm still going to be doing some bits of work till December, I had to send that email now because I know that my case manager will be planning what she wants me to do in September. So, and there'll be loads of people if they're project managers, if there are things that are happening at their work. There'll be loads of you that know that what's in your head about retiring might need to be given to other people because of their plans for you. So that's where I was. I basically had a choice of, do I wait until my case manager actually gives me new students and say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that? Or do I bite the bullet and do I do it now? So that's what I did. I sent it like about 5 days ago. It's very dark in these woods. It's lovely woods. I'm in a place called Dobb Park, which is part of some green forestry commission type thing. But it is very dark, very dark. So that's what I did. I sent my email and I didn't hear anything for a couple of days. And I've got to be honest, I was a little bit worried because I don't want to totally finish in September or July. I have thought about it. Don't get me wrong, I thought about it. So I don't totally want to finish in July. But I thought me sending that email could just mean that I lose all my work from now. Now she knows I'm leaving, she might start allocating all of my students to other people anyway, regardless. But that wasn't the case. So I got a phone call a couple of days later, and that's part of the surprises. What I was going to do is talk about the surprises from my email. But one of the surprises of my finally quitting was that my case manager, and you will probably, a lot of you will possibly find this, my case manager was absolutely lovely and basically said she would be happy to have me back at any point if I changed my mind. Please remember, if you're enjoying this video, or even if you're not, please help by liking and subscribing. Like and subscribe. So she basically said whatever I wanted to do, she'd be really, really happy for me to do. But another thing she said was, I will get bored. She is convinced, oh, it's nice and light out here, look. She is convinced that I will go back. She is convinced that I will change my mind and I will decide that I want to go back to employment. But I'm convinced that's not going to happen. So that was one of the surprises, my case manager's response and how lovely she was about it all. So that was really, really nice. But another surprise is I didn't really feel any different. I don't feel today, talking to you, that, oh, I've retired. And that's possibly because I am still going to be working until December in dribs and drabs. So I thought I would feel a real sense of, wow, I have done this. But I absolutely didn't. I just felt a bit wary about her response, really. That was all. So that was another surprise, really. But also, part of the reason I could have felt like that is because I am carrying one student on until June. I can't abandon a GCSE student in a final few months of schooling. So I am keeping one student until June. So that's it, really. I have done it. I have told the powers that be that from September to December, I don't want any new students. Maximum I'll probably be doing is about a day and a half, 2 days, because I only do 2.5 days now and students are starting to peter. So when I start in September, I'll be doing about a day and a half, 2 days, and that'll just disappear until December. And then from January, until June, I will literally be working one morning a week. So that in itself means changes to finances. And boy, has that changed. And I'm definitely going to do a video about that, because if anything proves that you've got to be flexible in your retirement plans, ours do. Because the fact that from September I'll have a reduced wage means the finances have got to come from somewhere. The fact from December I'll have an even more reduced wage, and our source of finance for my retirement has totally changed. Where we're going to get our first 3, 4, 5 years from has totally changed. And I never thought we would do it this way, but looking at the numbers, we are totally changing the way we draw our money, where we get our finances from in retirement. So more about that on the next video. Thank you for taking this walk with me around the beautiful but very dark Dobb Park. That's Keeley from Retirement Dreams to Reality. Bye.